A lost tribe once inhabited the high plateaus above Bogota, genetically unique, unmatched by any living or ancient people, and then utterly vanished from history. Thousands of years ago, hunter-gatherers roamed Colombia's Altiplano. Their bones lay buried beneath the cool, dry earth of the Andean highlands, silent, forgotten, undisturbed, until modern science cracked open their DNA. What followed was one of archaeology's greatest mysteries, an entire population that disappeared without a genetic trace. No descendants, no legacy, nothing. Why did their lineage vanish completely? And what does that erasure tell us about the complex migrations that shaped the Americas? The silence left by these people isn't just an academic curiosity. It challenges how we think about human history, identity, and survival. Who were they really? And what forces could erase an entire genetic legacy from the map? In the age of ancient genomics, we expect connections, lineages, and bridges across time. But here we find absence. An entire people missing from the living tree of humanity. In an ambitious effort to reconstruct Colombia's human past, scientists excavated 21 ancient individuals from 5 archaeological sites scattered across the Altiplano Cundiboyacense, a high plateau that has long served as the cradle of pre-Columbian civilization. These remains span over 5.5 millennia of human history, from the earliest hunter-gatherers at Checua to the maize-cultivating farmers of the Guane and Muisca. Among the oldest were 7 Checua individuals, buried nearly 6,000 years ago. Their lifestyle was simple but efficient, hunting deer, gathering roots and seeds, and navigating seasonal shifts in the upland valleys. Their tools were crafted from stone, their dwellings temporary, and yet in their bones lay secrets untouched for millennia. These weren't kings or priests or warriors, they were ordinary people. Yet their DNA has reshaped an entire continent's prehistory. They represent a ghost lineage, one that branched off from early South American settlers and somehow got lost in the tide of time. These sites, silent for centuries, have now become windows into an invisible world, revealing migration stories older than pottery, older than myth, and told only in the alphabet of genomes. This groundbreaking genomic study marks the first ancient human DNA ever sequenced from Colombia. It was led by paleogeneticists Cosimo Post and Kim Louise Kretek from the University of Tübingen, in close collaboration with Andrea Casas Vargas and researchers at the Universidad Nacional de Colombia. Their findings, published on May 28 in Science Advances, offer a sweeping new perspective on the genetic prehistory of South America. Post emphasized the importance of this work, stating, "These are the first ancient human genomes from Colombia ever to be published." Kretek added, "This group appears to derive from the earliest population that spread and differentiated across South America very rapidly. Their results point to a now extinct lineage, one that diverged early from other Native American groups and left no descendants in the modern population." What the researchers found was staggering. The DNA of these early Checua individuals did not resemble any present-day indigenous groups in Colombia. It didn't even resemble ancient populations in Central or North America. Instead, their genetic profile aligned with an ancient branch of Southern Native American ancestry, a lineage known from other regions of South America but not previously identified in Colombia. It was as though an entire chapter of human migration had been missing from the story. Then came the twist. Around 2,000 years ago, the genetic signal of the Checua people vanishes completely. No continuity, no blending. In their place, an entirely new population with genetic ties to ancient Panamanian communities and modern Chibchan-speaking groups across Central America. The genetic turnover was total. Kretek put it plainly, "We couldn't find descendants. The genes were not passed on. It was a complete exchange of the population." Casas Vargas agreed, pointing out that such a clean break in genetic continuity is virtually unheard of. In regions like the Andes or Patagonia, ancient populations generally leave behind some trace in the genomes of their modern counterparts. But in Colombia's highlands, nothing. This total replacement corresponds with archaeological shifts. Around the time the Chekua disappear, new cultural elements begin to appear. Herrera period pottery, permanent settlements, and the domestication of maize. While this could suggest peaceful assimilation, the genetic data tell a more dramatic story. Was it migration? Environmental collapse? Disease? Famine? The bones themselves offer few clues. There's no widespread evidence of trauma, no signs of mass conflict. But the genetic data are unambiguous. An ancient lineage was erased and replaced by another. Some scholars wonder whether social structures, religion, or even intermarriage patterns might have played a role. Could cultural norms have favored the reproduction of incoming groups over locals? Or did natural disasters alter the environment enough to favor newly arriving agriculturalists? Or could there have been unseen upheaval, epidemics, environmental tipping points, or shifting trade routes that destabilized entire communities? This suggests a second migratory wave into the region, possibly from Central America, bringing with it not only new genes but new technologies, new languages, and new lifeways. Colombia's Altiplano, once thought to be continuously inhabited, now appears as a stage for profound demographic change. This transforms our understanding of early human migration. Rather than a slow cultural evolution, we're looking at rapid, large-scale movement. Colombia, positioned at the gateway between continents, served not as a bridge of continuity, but as a revolving door of populations, each wave leaving its mark in the soil, but not in the bloodline. The implications ripple far beyond Colombia. First, this finding challenges the classic model of uninterrupted settlement. It suggests that even seemingly stable regions may hide histories of upheaval, replacement, and reinvention. Second, it reinforces the significance of Chibchan-speaking peoples. Their arrival in the region aligns with a total cultural and genetic transformation, indicating they weren't just migrants, but architects of a new civilization. As Casas Vargas noted, branches of this language family are still spoken in Central America today. Their voices still echo through the valleys of Costa Rica and Panama. Third, this discovery highlights how fragile human legacy can be. The people who lived for thousands of years, who buried their dead and shaped the land, can be forgotten not only by history, but by biology. No folklore, no lineage, nothing but a handful of bones and a strand of ancient DNA. It also forces us to reconsider how we define ancestry. The people of the Altiplano today walk on the same soil, speak languages descended from Chibchan tongues, but carry no traces of the Chekua in their blood. Cultural heritage and genetic ancestry don't always align, and that mismatch is a clue, not a contradiction. And perhaps, most importantly, it reminds us that much of the human story remains unwritten. Every excavation, every genome sequenced, is a page recovered from a book we thought was lost. The study's authors stress the urgent need for more samples, particularly from Colombia's western lowlands, as well as Ecuador and Venezuela. These regions could fill in the gaps and help track how many migratory waves passed through the isthmus into South America and where they went next. This isn't just about tracing ancestry, it's about reclaiming voices long thought silenced, piecing together the human story not from myth, but from molecules. In the shadowed highlands of Colombia, a people lived, thrived, and vanished. Their homes have crumbled. Their names are lost. But now, in their ancient DNA, their story resurfaces, not in legend, but in science. They remind us that human history is not a straight line. It's a mosaic of arrivals and extinctions, of memory and forgetting. If you want to journey deeper into real recent science discoveries, like vanished populations and lost civilizations, subscribe now. The next mystery may emerge in the very next video. Join us on the frontier of discovery.